You're now listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.
Hello, Colorado. This is your Engage the Rockies weekend review for the week of October 28th to November 1st. If you'd like the show notes with links to the stories we're covering today, please visit engagetherockies.com and sign up to our email. Every Monday, we'll send you the list of articles we covered on our Friday episode. From around the state, leading Colorado Republicans on Wednesday called on Democratic Secretary of State Jena Griswold to resign after the state's top election official admitted that someone in her office posted a spreadsheet online that improperly included passwords to voting equipment and used throughout the state. Griswold denied on Tuesday that the inadvertent disclosure, brought to the public's attention by the Colorado Republican Party, poses a threat to next week's election, since the exposed passwords are just one of several elements required to access voting systems. Quote, "We have no reason to believe that there are any security breaches or compromises in the state of Colorado," Griswold said in an interview with 9 News. She said her office is investigating the lapse and immediately notified a federal agency that oversees election security. The Colorado GOP on Tuesday publicized its discovery of the passwords in a file posted to the Secretary of State's website that listed voting equipment used by county clerks. The passwords were listed in, quote, hidden portions of the file that were made visible by selecting unhide after clicking a particular tab on the spreadsheet, according to an accompanying affidavit signed by someone whose name was redacted. The affidavit stated that spreadsheets downloaded from early August through the middle of last week contained the hidden passwords, though the state GOP noted that an amended version of the file appeared to have been posted on October 24th. Quote, "While the above does not constitute evidence of a breach by itself, it does demonstrate a major lapse in basic system security and password management," end quote, the state GOP said in its release. A Griswold spokesperson said in a written statement Tuesday that knowledge of the posted passwords by themselves didn't pose an immediate security threat to Colorado's elections and wouldn't have an impact on ballot tabulation. House Minority Leader Rose Puglisi from Colorado Springs and Assistant Minority Leader Ty Winter of Trinidad said in a joint press release Wednesday that they want Griswold to resign. They cited the revelation about the passwords and previous incidents, including when Griswold's office mailed postcards to thousands of non-citizens encouraging them to register to vote and notifying voters they hadn't voted when they had. Quote, "While I have the utmost trust in the integrity of our county clerks who actually oversee the counting of votes, I have no trust that Secretary Griswold is capable of leading our election system," Puglisi said. "Enough of her incompetence. It is time for her to resign. The people of Colorado deserve better," end quote. Moving on, Denver Public Schools Superintendent Alex Marrero has quietly seen his base pay grow by 14% in just 15 months, the Denver Gazette has learned. The growth in his base pay is even higher at 26% when considering he started with the district at $276,000 a little more than 3 years ago. About 19 months ago, at Marrero's prompting, the Board of Education gave him about a 10% raise to $305,000. That move made Marrero, who helms the state's largest school district, the highest paid superintendent in Colorado. Then about 3 months later, Marrero got a cost of living, or COLA, adjustment, bumping the superintendent's base pay to $329,400. Scott Pribble, a district spokesperson, said on Tuesday. Marrero's most recent pay bump was 5.2% COLA adjustment in August. A COLA adjustment is intended to keep salaries up with the cost of living. The state determines the Consumer Price Index, which is used to set the annual COLA adjustment amount. COLA increases for Marrero and central office staffers do not require approval by the Board of Education. The superintendent's base pay is now $346,529. That means Marrero's base pay has climbed more than $70,000 since joining the district in July 2021. That's more than the $55,000 starting pay for district teachers. On Monday, the Board of Education gave Marrero a largely positive annual review and a $17,326 bonus for meeting 75% of the goals set for him. Moving on. The last campaign finance report before Election Day shows millions being spent on Colorado's election system in favor of ranked choice voting, in which candidates are selected by order of preference. The Colorado Voters First Committee has raised more than $4 million in the past 2 weeks. The big checks written to Colorado voters first between October 10th and October 28th. All told, Colorado Voters First has now raised just over $15 million. Meanwhile, a second and brand new committee filed to support Proposition 131, Voters for the American Center, raised $496,000 in the last 2 weeks from two California contributors, Tom Chavez, who donated $236,000, the founder of Superset, an entrepreneur who funds technology startups. The other funder is Harrison Miller, who gave $259,000. Miller is listed as retired but previously worked with Summit Partners. While Proposition 131 has outpaced all other ballot measures in 2024 for fundraising, it still lags behind other major propositions in the past. In 2016, the No on 72 campaign, a ballot measure to hike tobacco taxes, raised more than $34 million. The measure failed by 6 percentage points. The two groups opposed to Proposition 131 have collectively raised less than $500,000. The committee backing Amendment 79, which would ensure the right to an abortion in the state constitution, raised $660,000 in the last week from Cobalt Advocates, which funds abortions. That brings the total contributions from Cobalt Advocates and the Cobalt Foundation to just over $3.1 million, including $1.5 million from in-kind contributions. The committee has now raised $9 million. The four committees opposed to Amendment 79 have collectively raised less than $550,000, although two groups received their biggest donations this month. The committee backing Proposition 127, which would ban trophy hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, and lynx, has now received more than $811,000 from Animal Wellness Action, whose founder was formerly with the Humane Society of the United States, which pushed a bill to do the same thing in the 2022 legislative session. Trophy hunting is illegal in Colorado under Colorado Revised Statutes 33-6-117 and Colorado Parks and Wildlife Regulations. Lynx are a federally protected species and it cannot be hunted or trapped. Cats Aren't Trophies raised more than $237,000 in the last few days, adding to its total of $3.5 million raised through October 28th. The two committees opposing Proposition 127 are behind in fundraising but received significant help this week from groups in Washington, D.C. Colorado's Wildlife Deserve Better, which opposes Proposition 127, raised $283,000 in the most recent reporting period, bringing its total fundraising to $1.9 million. This month, the largest donation came from the Congressional Sportsman Foundation of Washington, D.C. at $190,000. The foundation separately spent $15,000 on media consulting, reported through the 48-hour disclosure webpage on the Secretary of State's website. As of Monday, more than $44 million has been raised to support or oppose the 14 statewide ballot measures. From around El Paso County, the Colorado Springs Airport on Wednesday announced nonstop seasonal Saturday service to Cancun, Mexico through Southwest Airlines. The weekly service is scheduled to begin June 7th and will be the first scheduled international route the airport will serve. The flights are slated to run through the summer. The Cancun flights will utilize the airport's new Federal Inspection Services facility construction of the 14,000 square foot FIS began this year in anticipation that an airline would provide international service. An FIS is an arrivals facility designed to enhance security screening operations. All international flights must go through an FIS, where passengers undergo U.S. Customs and Border Protection screening before entering the United States. The FIS is expected to be completed in December. And lastly, the Colorado Springs City Council is moving all future meeting start times up to 9 a.m. to offer a longer and more consistent section for public comment to the council. The move from 10 a.m. will apply to the regular council meetings on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month, as well as the council work session on the Mondays before. City spokesman Alex Ryden said the time for citizen discussion often started an hour or longer into the council meetings. When a large number of people sign up to speak, Ryden said the current schedule means not everyone gets a chance to comment before the city council typically breaks for lunch around noon. The city council has seen a growing number of commenters at its meetings during the past several months, including an August 27th meeting that included more than 2 hours of comments about Ford Amphitheater. To meet the citizen interest, the council had been either delaying their breaks or asking people to stay until the afternoon in order to speak. The November 12th work session and meeting were already scheduled to begin at 9 a.m., so the new start time will not be felt until later this month. The city said the new start time will not affect the live broadcasts of council meetings on Springs TV, Comcast channels 18 and 880, or the Colorado Springs City Council Facebook page. Those are your top stories for the week of October 28th to November 1st. Please tune in each Friday for your weekend review from Engage the Rockies. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe for more great content. If you like the full articles from the stories we read today, sign up to our email list at engagetherockies.com and we'll send you our show notes each week. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.